Nidhi, namaste. Welcome.
Namaste, Bhaiya.
Nidhi, we may start.
Yes, Bhaiya. So, I hope my voice is audible. Yeah. So, Namaste, everyone. Welcome to the session 4 of UHV1. And this session 4 is on the program for fulfillment of basic human aspirations. That is, shifting from excitement to happiness. So, before we get in detail with the session, we can also have a look on the assignment that has been given in the last Wednesday, where we discussed about the basic human aspirations. And this is some of the home assignment that has been given. I hope you would have done it, like listing out the aspirations and concerns, trying to find out what are the things that is related to your aspirations and the concerns. Either it is based on the right understanding, the relationship, or physical facility. So this is one, and from which I hope you would have been able to conclude that there are 3 basic requirements for a human being. That is the right understanding, fulfillment in relationship, and physical facility. And we would have also noted that all these 3 are required. There would have been a mindset or in thinking that only physical facility is enough for me. But with the last session, we would have gotten clarity on what are the 3 basic requirements. And when we look into our aspiration, that may be closely related with any one of the 3. But when you look into the fulfillment of the basic aspiration, then it always comes with the right understanding as the first priority. So this is an example, and I hope you would be exploring with all your aspirations and concerns, and also you'd be able to see that for the fulfillment of the basic human aspiration, right understanding is essential and comes as the first priority. So this is the next assignment which has been given, where we try to categorize the time and effort we put on every day under these 3 areas, under the 3 priorities. So you would have done this, and you would have ultimately able to see how much of time you are spending to ensure the right understanding, the right feeling, prosperity, and other things. So with this is a basic recap. So we discussed about the basic human aspiration and the program for its fulfillment on last Wednesday. And we have seen that these are the 3 basic requirements of a human being. So with that, when we try to understand, the right understanding was getting the first priority, followed by the relationship and physical facility. So right understanding can be given by the domain of education. And with this right understanding in the self, then every one of us will be able to have it in our living, which will lead to mutual happiness with our interaction with the other human beings, and which will lead to mutual prosperity, that is prosperity for myself, my family, and also prosperity for rest of the nature, a mutual prosperity with the rest of the nature. So the program and the basic fulfillment, when I see the program, so the program to have my basic human aspiration is to understand harmony at the level of an individual, family, society, nature and existence, and to implement it, to fulfill it, then I need to have this understanding put into my living at all the 4 levels. So with this, we'll move on to today's session, session 4, program for fulfillment of basic human aspiration, shifting from excitement to happiness. Shifting from excitement to happiness. What does it mean? And let us explore these things by the process of self-exploration. Self-exploration is the process of the value education. So in value education, whatever is said is a proposal. That is, the content which we are sharing here is a proposal. And every one of us have to verify it on your own right. So do not assume whatever is shared here is either true or false, but what is required from your end is to verify it on your own right. Maybe we can check this. You can check for yourself. What do you want? Respect or disrespect? Trust or mistrust? War or peace? Conservation of nature or exploiting the nature? You can have the responses for yourself, and this is what is termed as the process of exploration. See, when I look into me, I can see that I actually need respect, I want trust, I want peace, and conservation of nature. And I'm also sure that these will be the responses from your end also. So now, by answering these questions, we can see that when the question is being put forth, we are referring to something within us. I was asking this question to myself, and I'm referring to something, and then immediately I got the answer. And this something is the faculty in every one of us and is called as the natural acceptance. So with all the proposals that we are going to share in all the sessions to come forth, we will verify it on the basis of our natural acceptance. That is, you will take the proposal, you will verify it on the basis of your natural acceptance to check what is natural to you, what makes you comfortable. And natural in the sense it should be comfortable for you and you should be stable with it, which is basically verifying what is right for you. See, like when we had this question of trust or mistrust, and every one of us are able to see that I feel comfortable with trust. Similarly, when I was asking this war or peace, then every one of us would have been opted for peace. We can also check this basic question like, what is comfortable for you? What is comfortable for me? Is it happiness or unhappiness? Happiness? So let me take this proposal of happiness or unhappiness, and all of us are able to verify that happiness is naturally acceptable to us. I feel comfortable with it. I'm stable with it. So now what do you think? With this verification that happiness is what I want, can you be able to live with happiness continuously? Continuously, which means that it is for every moment in life, each and every second. So just by this verification that I want happiness, I just verified it on the basis of my natural acceptance. And with just this verification, will I be able to live in happiness continuously? Trust or mistrust? Trust. So with this verification of trust, will I be able to be, or will I be able to have this feeling of trust every moment continuously? I can see for myself that it is not so. I may have done the validation, but with this step 1, what is required is to have a clarity on the proposal. So when I say happiness, then I need to get a clarity of what happiness is. And with the clarity, then it will be reflected in my living. So when I get the clarity of the proposal, then I move on with the second step, which is the experiential validation, that is living according to it. Live according to the proposal. While living, then again we can do the validation outside. Or basically I can do it for myself. I can check whether I'm comfortable. So let me take this example of trust or mistrust. So when I say that I want to have this feeling of trust, so I can check for myself, when I have this feeling of trust, am I being comfortable within? Am I being happy within? Yes, I am able to see that. So with that, when the other is coming in contact with me, if the other is becoming comfortable, is the other able to see the trust and is he feeling comfortable with that? So if that happens, then I can say that the other feels happy and we have this mutual happiness. So that is what is given in this 2A, where when I go on with the second step of experiential validation, that is living according to it, I try to ensure this mutual happiness with the other human beings. And then similarly, I can also work on with the rest of the nature. I need to check whether it leads to mutual prosperity when I have my work with the rest of the nature. So if this is going to happen, then this is a state where where I am able to see that I have this right understanding of the proposal. So similarly, when you do these 2 steps, you will be able to see that you get the right understanding of the proposals in you. And this is the process of self-exploration, which is nothing but the process of the value education. So hope we are able to see the process of the self-exploration, which we will be following in the entire session of this UHV. And so is this process naturally acceptable to you? Or maybe we can frame a question in this way. Which process is naturally acceptable to you? What do you think? There are two options here. The one is a process of self-exploration or the self-verification, validation, which we were talking about for the past few minutes, which can be done on your own right. That is based on your faculty of natural acceptance and which will lead to the right understanding in yourself. This is the first option. And the second option is generally what we tend to do. We tend to give orders, commands, we demand or we request, we set up some guidelines. It's a kind of do's and don'ts where you are not being provided with a provision to have this verification for yourself. See, for example, you have to get up early in the morning, at least by 5. You have been given orders, commands. So what do you think what will happen there? Will you be able to at least understand why should I get up early in the morning? What is the advantage of getting up? Or what is the disadvantage of getting up? What do you think? When we say this to a student like you, or when we say this to school students, is there any provision for the one who is listening to this do's and don'ts to get to know or get to verify why they have to follow? So with this, what will be your option? So you prefer to go on with the option number 1, which is the process of self-exploration and self-verification on the basis of the natural acceptance. Yes. Okay. So with this process, when I just recollect what is that basic human aspiration which we have discussed in the session 3, I hope we were able to see 3 questions. We were answering out 3 questions. One is, do you want to be happy? Do you want to be prosperous? And do you want to have continuity of both the things? And hope you will be remembering it, because that is what our basic human aspiration is. Every one of us wants to be happy. So now, when we go on with this program to fulfill the basic aspiration, we'll first try to understand what happiness is. So generally, what we think is that happiness is subjective and it cannot be defined. Happiness is something like every one of us will be having certain terms and definitions for the same. But what we are trying is, of course, happiness is subjective, but it can be defined. How it is defined? Happiness is defined as the state or situation in which I live, and this particular state of situation has harmony. I am able to have this feeling of harmony when I am in the state of situation. I'm able to have this synergy in it. So state is something which is the internal state of mind, the internal world of mind, and situation is the scenario which is prevailing outside. So for example, we are here attending this session, listening to the content. So you will be in a state of harmony, and also you may feel the surrounding outside you is also in harmony, is also favoring you to continue with the session. So when there is synergy, then what happens? It is naturally acceptable to you to be in the state and you would like to continue. So it's a session of 1 hour where we started with 7:30 and we'll be ending by 8:30, and almost 20 minutes has been gone, and still I feel synergy and I want to continue to be in the state or situation. So to be in the state of harmony or synergy is happiness. So to give out in 2 or 3 words, happiness is to be in harmony. So there is another possibility where I may be disturbed or you may be disturbed because of something. Something would have been going in you right now. So you are in a state in which there are some contradictions which is going on in you. There is some disharmony in you. And then this state, when you look into, this is not naturally acceptable to you. So what happens? How are you feeling now with this confusions which is going on in me? I don't want to continue with this state. I just want to get out of that. This happens, right? So a state or situation in which you are forced to be and where you have this disharmony or contradictions or confusions with you is called as unhappiness. So unhappiness is disharmony, not to be in a state of harmony. And when you look into your natural acceptance, you can actually see that my natural acceptance is always for this state of happiness. Another example which I can quote is like, for example, if you are staying in hostel with your friends and if it is raining outside in the evening with beautiful, you see very beautiful grown trees, greeneries, and you have this cup of tea or coffee with you. You are sitting with your friends very comfortably and you are enjoying the rain. You will feel comfortable, and this is the state. So happiness is to be in a state of harmony, and unhappiness is to be forced to be in a state of contradictions, confusions, or disharmony. But what do you think? We have this term, right? Excitement. Is happiness and excitement or the same? Like when you get a new mobile, what is that you feel? Is that the happiness or excitement? Similarly, when you post certain pictures or posts in social media like Facebook, Instagram, and so on, and when you get the likes, the comments, very favorable feeling from the other, And what is that? Is that excitement or happiness? We can just try to understand what is this uh, excitement means, and as we have defined what is this happiness. So excitement is something where you try to seek happiness from the outside world. I mean, I have these two things, right? I have an internal world and I have something which is outside. For example, this eating very delicious food or listening to the favorite music. What happens is, I have seen uh, so many students of mine, they will be having this WhatsApp status and they will post this music and they will be telling in loop mode a particular song which is played again and again, which gives a very favorable sensation, a very it's a kind of pleasure that they seek from listening to the favorite music. So as soon as a new movie is being released, or even before that, as soon as you have this release of music, then they go on with the same song has and has. That is one example of excitement, isn't it? We would have also been experienced certain kind of things. Then getting appreciation, attention from the others, that is another kind. For example, like if we feel that a particular type of dress is very good looking on us and we try to have it. So whenever we have certain kind of dress on us, then there is a possibility like I may move here and there throughout the campus so that I try to get this favorable feelings from the other, the appreciation from the other. I seek the attention of the other. So that is a kind of excitement. Then winning a game, competing with someone, winning a game. It's not only that I'm going to win a game, but it may be my team from the college or the team from my state, and even this national level sports where we want our country to win. All those things we can check for ourselves. Is it a kind of happiness or excitement? And what we can see for ourselves is when I have this excitement, then I'm dependent on the outside. And all these excitements, it it is a temporary. The moment you turn off your mobile, you switch off the mobile or you stop the music which is being played, then it becomes temporary. And obviously, you will not be able to continue with the same thing throughout. So, excitement is something which is dependent on the outside, temporary, not definite, and cannot be continuous. But what generally we do, I want to get the happiness through excitement. So, I want to be happy every moment. So, in order to have this happiness out of excitement, I then indulge myself. I then indulge myself in many things. Some of the examples are like watching movie for hours. See, I know one of my student who generally used to be little late to the class during the first term. So it happened many a times that at least by 5 minutes or 3 minutes or 2 minutes, he'll be late. So once I just decided to ask him, like, what is the reason? Because he's a hostler and the hostel is hardly 2 to 3 minutes from the class. So when I asked him, like, why is that he's coming too late every day, then he said that he's very comfortable in watching movies. So what he does, he watch movie every night, and it's like he start with one, then he think, okay, it's over though, so I will go on with one more. And that happens so that he is not able to make it up to the class on time. So what is happening? That particular students tend to seek happiness out of the excitement, and for him the excitement is watching movies. Similarly, we can also see that some of us will be very much excited in playing the video games, and it's like I was very much excited that I will win, and then suddenly the other competitor or the other one from the opposite team, they just I mean, I just lost my life, and if it is going to be some kind of games, it's like I lost my life, and then luckily I got a chance to have one more life, and when I win the game, it's like I'm just on the top of everything, and I feel very excited, and those excitement gives me happiness. So what I do, I try to indulge in all those things which are going to give me excitement. Partying with friends, then some of us can also see that some are being addicted to the smoking, alcohol, drugs, and other things. So excitement, I try to get happiness out of it. Happiness, I want to be in continuity, so I indulge. So sometimes it also happens that since I'm indulged in something, I may not be able to get the favorable sensation or favorable feeling at all the time. See, the dependency is outside. When I play a video game, it's not that I'll be always winning. I may also lose the game. So, what happens? I get into this depression. So, I'm not able to ensure the pleasure for me. I'm not able to ensure the favorable feelings from the other. At times, it also happened that I wear a very nice, wonderful dress where the other are quite busy with their work, and I didn't get this attention. I didn't get this appreciation. So I get into depression. And this can happen on and off. I go to this excitement, I'll be very high, I'll be very low. So this is one of the thing. I did not get good marks, so my friends ignored me. When my friends ignored me, then I get into this anger. I refuse to have my food, or else I will overeat. I will not share anything. I'll be alone at the room. I will not participate. I will not communicate. But we can also check that. We can also see that why is that I'm indulged in such kind of things because I want to be happy. And we can also see, does this excitement gives happiness continuously for every moment? Excitement is not surely going to give you happiness for every moment. You can't be excited for each and every moment continuously. So then what happens? If there is a scenario where I indulge in something and I go on with this higher mood, and when I go on with this lower mood, and I get into this depression and excitement continuously, or there is a fluctuation in the state where I am, Then if this is going to happen, if I'm going to get into this depression, then I try to have this escapism. I want to get out of this situation or state, because we know what does this unhappiness mean. Unhappiness is the state or situation in which I live, where I have these confusions and I want to get out of the state. So similarly, when I go on with this depression, then I want to get out of it. How do I get out? Some of the things are like overeating. I tend to oversleep. Or else I will also get into this addiction of smoking, alcohol, drugs, where I see that when I'm into this, I just completely or I just overcome the state of uncomfortableness. So this is what is happening in most of us, right? See, I go on seeking happiness from the excitement. And when I look into the possibility of having continuity of happiness with excitement, I go and indulge. And also I try to find out the other possible sources. Since I know that excitement cannot be continuous, then it leads to depression. In all the sources, when I look into the dependency, my dependency is outside, which is temporary, which is not definite and cannot be continuous. So when I get into this fluctuating mood, then I try to escape from the current state, which is nothing but the unhappiness. But what can I see for myself if I have the right understanding of what happiness or harmony is? Or even though if my current state is going to be in any one of these four blocks which is given below, even though if I have my current state as in the case of an excitement, indulgence, depression, or escapism, whatever it may be, if you have the awareness of the process of exploration, if you have the awareness of the basic human aspiration, the basic aspiration of yourself, and if you explore within yourself what is natural to you, then if you are able to see all those things, if you are able to see that happiness and harmony is what I want for every moment, then you can achieve this through the right understanding and right feeling. So when I want to move from this excitement, depression to happiness, that is my current state to the desirable state. So if I want to have this, then I should be knowing about my basic aspiration. I should be having the clarity on what is happiness. I should be able to understand that depending on the outside things for ensuring happiness is always temporary, it's not definite, and cannot be continuous. But if you look into it, when you are in these four states, then you may not be having this responsibility of or responsibility for self-development. Self-development in the sense, how do I transform from the state of excitement and depression to the desirable state of happiness and harmony? So happiness and harmony achieved, or when I try to achieve it through the right understanding and right feeling, then I will be taking the responsibility of my own self. And I know that it is continuous, it is definite. I may avoid all this fluctuation of getting into a high mood, low mood, and other things. And obviously, it is not dependent on outside. The process of self exploration, where I'm able to get this right understanding in me, is going to be within my own world where I'm not dependent on the outside. So, we can also check this if excitement, indulgence, depression, escapism is being a major part of my model of living today, then are we comfortable? When I see that I'm not comfortable with it, then we need to explore and make efforts to understand and reach the desirable state, which is basically in me to go and have it. So, with this, as we discuss what is our basic human aspiration, like it is to have the happiness and prosperity in continuity, and we were just sharing the thoughts on what is happiness and what is my current state or the current model of my living, and how is that I am just have I we just explored on am I going on with this excitement to seek continuity of happiness, and if that is the case, how is that I can move on to the desirable state. So with that, when we move into the next term, that is prosperity, prosperity can be defined as the, or it can be termed as the feeling of having or producing more than the required physical facility. The prosperity is something to deal with the physical facility that is needed. And this is having or producing more than the required physical facility. And what do you think? Does prosperity and possession of wealth or the same or two different things? Maybe I can just put up the question in a different way. So a person with so much of wealth, is there a possibility that he or she may also feel that I don't possess this particular physical facility, I don't have this, I lack in having this particular thing? Is there a possibility for that? Or there is one more possibility where this particular wealthy person may feel deprived by seeing the other wealthy person. So, with this, what can we conclude? Is prosperity and possession of wealth are two different things or not? So, what do you want? Do you want to become a billionaire or a prosperous person? You can ask yourself and you can respond the same. And are you sure that by becoming a billionaire, you will be having this happiness and continuity? We can ask. And generally, what happens is a prosperous person thinks of right utilization. See, for example, when you have two chocolates and you see your friend coming, then when I feel prosperous, then I will share it up with him readily. This happens, right? We share everything with our friends. It's like you don't think, should I share it or not? And such kind of question will never occur. And we do this. We make the right utilization of the physical facility, and thus we nurture the other. But there is another possibility where one may think that I just have two chocolates, and if I'm going to give it to the other, then I will lose one. So, what he or she may do, this is just a possibility. So, what he or she may do, like, I need not have it, I will just keep it and wait till the other leaves. So, what is happening? Here, she feels deprived to share, which means he or she is not making out the right utilization of the physical facility. They are just accumulating and also exploiting. Who will be able to see this? What is, by which or how a prosperous person behaves and how a deprived person behaves? Because there is a possibility that we might have experienced both the things. So with this clarity on the two terms, which is nothing but our basic human aspiration, that is happiness and prosperity in continuity. When we look into the basic human aspiration and the program for its fulfillment, we have already we have made this right priority of these three things: the right understanding, relationship, and physical facility. And we have already numbered it. So on the basis of this, when I have this right understanding, with the right understanding of the relationship with the other, I will try to understand all the feelings so that I'll be able to ensure it within me. And with that, when I share it up with the other human beings, then it leads to mutual happiness. And with the right understanding of how much physical facility is needed, how much is required for me, then when I work with the rest of the nature, then it will lead to the mutual prosperity. So this is what is termed as living in harmony. When I understand the program, when the program is nothing to understand the harmony at the level of individual, family, society, nature, and existence. When this understanding is made through the education, and we'll be able to ensure the understanding by living in harmony at all the four levels. So right understanding with the relationship, living in harmony with human being, leading to mutual happiness. Right understanding with the rest of the nature, leading to harmony with rest of the nature, leading to mutual prosperity. And this is what we want to ensure, isn't it? When I look into my basic human aspiration and I go on with the program for its fulfillment. So with this, we want to sum up what we have discussed in today's session. So self-exploration is the process which we are going to follow throughout. That is verifying on the basis of our own natural acceptance and validating it in the living, validating it within me and with rest of the other human being and also with rest of the nature. And this will lead to right understanding in me. And our basic human aspiration is to have the happiness and prosperity in continuity, which means for each and every second. Whereas happiness is to be in a state of harmony, and unhappiness is to be forced to be in a state of disharmony where I have all these confusions within me. And we have also seen what is the difference between the happiness and excitement. Both are not the same. They are two different things. Happiness is something which can be ensured in continuity, whereas excitement cannot be ensured. And this excitement is something which is derived from outside, which is temporary, indefinite, and completely dependent on outside. And since it is temporary, indefinite, and it is not continuous, we may not be able to seek happiness out of excitement. Then we moved on with the prosperity. So prosperity is the feeling of having or producing more than the required physical facility. And we have also seen what is this prosperity and possession of wealth. And both are not the same. So with this basic clarity, when I look into the program for fulfillment of my basic human aspiration, the program is very simple. It's just to understand harmony in all the four levels of existence. And with the clarity and understanding of what happiness or harmony is, then I put that into my living at all the levels of being. So with this, if any of you have or any of you need any clarity, we can take up the question, or else I will move on with the home assignment for today's session. So I will brief out the assignment for today. Yeah, Devi ji is 1 second. Can unmute and yeah. Devi ji, yes, you can ask your question. Are you able to unmute? Yes.
Okay, okay. Namaste, Didi. Am I audible to you?
Yes, yes, Didi, please.
Okay, okay. Uh, so it was very nice to hear your class today. But now, just I'm thinking certain excitements in our life that is not actually happiness, I know, but I'm not able to define it. For example, as a mother, the moment I have seen the face of my uh, son for the first time or daughter for the first time. So it is not actually, we can't say it is continuous happiness like that, but it is an excitement, but it is giving me some kind of satisfaction or some kind of uh, mental harmony always. So such situations, so many such situations will be there in our life. So how to define such moments? Just a doubt that came when I heard you. I didn't think like that in before, but today I felt like that. So can we have a little clarity on this?
Didi, your question is, you are able to see that excitement and happiness are different.
So far I was thinking like that only. Now also I'm thinking like that only.
Hmm.
Excitement is different. So, for example, now this is the in Kerala, this is the season of Onam. So, in all the institutions, so many things, and in the association, so many things are happening. So, I can very well feel that it is excitement only.
Hmm.
But certain moments in our life,
Hmm.
for you also it will be there. I also it will be there. For example, for clarity only, I am telling the moment that we are seeing our the first child,
Hmm.
their face like that, and all certain moments will be there, no, in our
Hmm.
life.
Hmm.
Ah, so such moments, whether have to include them as excitement or whether I have to include it as some kind of, I don't know whether I can call it as happiness, but the moment whenever I am thinking about that, I am feeling that
But
satisfaction or some kind of real feeling in
yes.
myself. Okay, for
Yes.
that only I am asking you.
Yes, Didi. So it happens very true. What you are telling is very true that
Yes,
like what I can understand is even if we call that as an excitement, I am able to have this feeling of comfortableness within me, at least for that few seconds, is what you mean to tell, isn't it?
not few seconds. Whenever,
Whenever you think.
throughout my
Okay.
life, whenever I
Okay.
am thinking that, it is giving me such a feeling.
Yeah.
So it is not, it is other than more than some kind of happiness I feel
Mm.
sometimes.
Okay.
So I want to distinguish how
Yeah.
to, if somebody is asking such a question, how to answer it. I am thinking that only I
Yes,
want to.
Didi. So it's
Mm.
very true that as an example which you said, the moment you look into the face of a baby, like I feel so
Yes,
comfortable within.
yes, yes, yes.
Yes, it happens. But what we need to see is with uh, such kind of events or happening, is it possible to have continuity of such events? See,
No,
I talk,
event is not continuous. That yes, that only my doubt. Event is not continuous, but that feeling, I am feeling it as throughout. It is there.
mm,
I'm getting that feeling of some kind of that I don't know which word will be that suitable for that. So that feeling is always there.
yeah, but
So
even then, we can also see,
uh,
is it possible for you to have continuity of happiness with such kind of memories?
that memory is giving. Maybe at any time we can
Anytime
lose it. Lose
when
we can lose it. That is there, but
yeah,
uh,
when I look into the memory, when I think of the memory, the very first moment I hold my child in my hand and I can get that kind of comfortableness. But will I be able to be sticking on with the same memory continuously? If I see that happiness is something which has to be in continuity, and I am
yes,
getting such kind of things when I look into a memory, and if possible, then I can hold on with the memory throughout. But is there any possibility of holding on to a memory continuously to have my continuity of
no, that
happiness?
whenever we are thinking about it only, we are getting that feeling.
Yes, yes. So,
Oh, that
which
is there.
basically means that the imagination is within me, but still I look out to get this happiness. So, whenever I have this dependency of my happiness based
Mm.
on something which has happened, I may get that comfortableness the moment I think about it. But can I hold on with that imagination continuously throughout to ensure happiness and continuity is what we need to look into. Is it okay, Didi?
Okay, Didi. Okay, I have to still
I think I
explore.
have.
I think.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. So we can keep it open also, like
Yes, yes. We have to. Okay, okay, okay.
yes, Didi.
Okay, Didi. Okay.
So